It is one of the largest and oldest statues on Earth. A lion's body, a human face, carved from a single ridge of stone, staring east toward the rising sun. We do not know for certain who built it. We do not know exactly when. And some argue we cannot even be sure whose face it truly wears. How old is the Great Sphinx really? And what, if anything, lies hidden beneath it? This is the story of the riddle in the sand. On the Giza plateau, just outside modern Cairo, a colossal figure crouches in the desert. For thousands of years, it has watched the horizon in patient silence. It is the Great Sphinx, a creature with the body of a reclining lion and the head of a human being, carved directly from the living limestone bedrock. Welcome to Curio Hour, where we uncover the strange, the unsolved, and the unforgettable. The scale of it is staggering. It stretches around 73 meters long and rises some 20 meters high, one of the largest single stone statues ever made. To stand before it is to feel impossibly small. Generations of travelers have come away with the same haunting question. Who made this and why? The mainstream answer points to the old kingdom of Egypt, more than 4,500 years ago, during the age of the Great Pyramid builders. Most Egyptologists credit the pharaoh Khafre, who ruled in the 26th century before our era, and whose pyramid rises just behind the Sphinx. In this view, the Sphinx was carved as part of Khafre's grand funerary complex, a divine guardian set to watch eternally over the royal tombs. The face, many believe, is the face of Khafre himself, transformed into a sphinx, the king fused with the lion and with the power of the sun god. The evidence is largely circumstantial. The sphinx sits within Khafre's complex, faces a causeway linked to his pyramid, and shares its quarry with nearby temples. But here is the strange truth at the heart of it all. Not a single ancient inscription survives that names the Sphinx's builder or records the day it was made. The greatest statue of the ancient world stands utterly silent about its own origin. And into that silence, centuries of speculation have rushed. The Sphinx was carved not by stacking blocks, but by cutting away the rock around it, leaving the figure rising from a deep hollow in the plateau. The workers dug an enormous U-shaped trench, freeing the body from the bedrock, while softer and harder layers of limestone ran through the stone. Those layers would become a problem. The harder stone formed the head, but the softer rock of the body has crumbled and weathered ever since. And it is precisely that weathering that would, thousands of years later, ignite one of archaeology's most heated and unresolved debates. In the late 20th century, a handful of researchers looked closely at the deep vertical grooves cut into the Sphinx enclosure walls. They argued the pattern looked less like wind and sand damage, and more like erosion caused by heavy, prolonged rainfall running down the stone. But Egypt's climate has been bone dry for thousands of years. Such rainfall, they claimed, would point to a far wetter and far more distant age. By this controversial theory, the Sphinx might be thousands of years older than Khafre, carved by some forgotten culture before the deserts came. The idea electrified the public and outraged most Egyptologists, who saw it as a fringe claim resting on shaky geology and no supporting artifacts. Mainstream scholars counter that the soft limestone simply erodes quickly, that groundwater and salt can mimic rain damage, and that the dating still holds. No tools, no settlements, no trace of a lost civilization advanced enough to carve the Sphinx has ever been found beneath the sands of an earlier age. And so the orthodox timeline endures. Yet the water erosion question still lingers at the edges of the field, refusing to be entirely silenced. There is also the matter of the head. To many eyes, it looks too small for the massive body, oddly out of proportion with the lion beneath. One theory suggests the head was recarved by a later pharaoh, shrinking an original, larger face, perhaps once the head of a lion, into a human one. It is an unproven idea, but it feeds the sense that the Sphinx we see today may not be quite the monument its makers first intended. Then there is the most famous wound of all. The Sphinx has no nose. A flat, broken scar sits where the great nose once was. Popular legend blames Napoleon's soldiers, claiming they blasted it off with a cannon. It is a vivid story, and it is almost certainly false. Sketches made long before Napoleon ever reached Egypt already show the Sphinx noseless, proving the damage was done centuries earlier. One account records that a furious holy man, enraged to find locals making offerings to the statue, deliberately defaced it in the 14th century. Whatever the truth, the missing nose has only deepened the Sphinx's brooding, enigmatic expression, as if it is keeping a secret behind a ruined face. The Sphinx was not always meant to be gray. Traces of pigment survive on its surface, hinting that the face was once painted a deep, vivid red, the body perhaps in bright colors. It also once wore a long, ceremonial royal beard. Fragments of that carved beard were recovered near the statue, and pieces now sit in museum collections far from Giza. Directly in front of the paws stand the ruins of a temple, built from limestone blocks so massive that moving them at all remains a feat of ancient engineering. And the Sphinx does not face just any direction. It gazes precisely east, toward the point where the sun climbs over the horizon on the days of the equinox. Later Greeks and Romans arriving in Egypt were awed by the monument and wove it into their own myths, carving graffiti and offering prayers at its feet. For much of its long life, the Sphinx was not even visible. The desert reclaimed it again and again, burying the body up to the neck in drifting sand. Between its rare appearances, only the head broke the surface, a giant face rising alone from a sea of dunes, half forgotten by the world. More than 3,000 years ago, a young prince fell asleep in the Sphinx's shadow and dreamed the buried statue spoke to him. In the dream, the Sphinx promised him the throne of Egypt if he would only clear away the sand choking its body. The prince agreed. He became the pharaoh Thutmose IV and set a carved stone tablet between the Sphinx's paws to record the bargain. It still stands there today. That tablet, the Dream Stela, is one of the oldest surviving texts about the Sphinx, yet even it does not clearly name who first carved the monument. Time and again over the centuries, kings and conquerors ordered the sand dug out, only for the desert to swallow the Sphinx once more. It was not until the 20th century that the Sphinx was finally and fully freed, the enclosure cleared, the whole astonishing figure laid bare at last. And almost as soon as it was uncovered, a new question seized the imagination of the world. Is there something hidden underneath it? Stories spread of secret chambers beneath the Sphinx, a fabled hall of records said to hold the lost wisdom of a vanished civilization. The legend has no basis in any ancient Egyptian text. It grew largely from modern psychics and mystics, not from archaeology. Still, the rumor refused to die, and eventually researchers brought in modern technology to scan the rock beneath the great statue. Surveys have detected some natural fissures and cavities in the bedrock, the ordinary hollows found in weathered limestone everywhere. But no grand vaulted hall, no archive of golden tablets, no hidden city has ever been confirmed beneath the paws of the Sphinx. And so the Hall of Records remains exactly what the evidence says it is. A legend beautiful and persistent, with no door yet found to open. What is undeniable is the toll of time. The Sphinx is crumbling, its soft stone flaking, and modern teams now wage a constant battle to preserve it. It has watched over the desert for at least 4,500 years. Who carved it when and what it guards, it still will not say. The Sphinx keeps its secrets,